Bitcoin and MicroStrategy are pumping, obviously, unless you've been living under a rock. Oh well, I've not been on my phone a lot. I've not been very present because I'm here in El Salvador with about 15 or so other Bitcoiners here at Bitcoin Boot Camp, where we are here on the oceanfront property home, spending anywhere from 6 to 7 hours a day in-person Bitcoin education. Most of the people here obviously are Bitcoiners already, been here a while, a couple new people, but the point is that it's been very exciting to have so much positive action going for Bitcoin while we're here in person, learning about Bitcoin, learning everything about mining, everything about multi-sig vaults, everything about inheritance planning, everything about buying more Bitcoin, right? It's been a very, very fun experience. We just released some baby sea turtles this morning, which was fun, and we're probably going to go to some waterfalls later today. Some amazing, beautiful waterfalls. But let's talk about the thing everyone is talking about in Bitcoin, which is freaking MicroStrategy. Oh my goodness. So yesterday morning, MicroStrategy announces that they're going to buy, or that they've already bought 50,000 Bitcoin. They're coming up on 1/3 Bitcoin in their war chest. And additionally, he announced yesterday afternoon, the same day, that they're going to be issuing close to $2 billion more of purchasing power for Bitcoin, right? So a lot of people right now are feeling the FOMO, fearing the fear of missing out for MicroStrategy stock. Oh my goodness, Bitcoin is up 60% or whatever year to date, but MicroStrategy is up 200%. MicroStrategy outperformed Bitcoin. Saylor's doing it. This is the glitch. This is everything. That's all very true. It's very true that Michael Saylor has created a form of paper that has outperformed Bitcoin. I'm now underwater here, quite literally. So it's true he's done that, but I think it's really important to focus on the bigger picture. Yes, MicroStrategy stock has outperformed Bitcoin. Yes, you should feel the FOMO of buying MicroStrategy stock, right? Over a year ago, I was pounding the table on MicroStrategy stock. I was making articles and threads about it. I was buying it, $30, $40, whatever. And it was buying it higher too, but most of my buys were in the $30 to $40 range. So I'm pretty happy sitting 10x on that position, but it is nowhere near as large as my self-custody position. Nowhere near as large as my multi-sig vault position. Because the only reason I dabble in MicroStrategy paper is that I want to communicate to the market, this is what you should do, right? Yes, maybe I'll be rewarded as it has outperformed Bitcoin so far, but it's more of a message to the market than actually a trade for me. So right now, MicroStrategy stock outperforms Bitcoin as it's the only game in town, right? Like there's no one else doing what MicroStrategy is doing, right? Saylor has this massive moat. He has this massive multi-year advantage with what he's doing. But keep in mind, every single company, every single nation state in the coming years is going to increasingly consider copying Michael Saylor. And so while right now a lot of people feel the FOMO with Bitcoin, and maybe even more FOMO with MicroStrategy stock, it's important to keep in mind that the more bullish you are on MicroStrategy stock, actually, the more bullish you should be on Bitcoin. Right now, MicroStrategy is outperforming because they're the only game in town when it comes to buying Bitcoin. But when everyone else is also doing what MicroStrategy is able to do, what is going to get pumped the most? Bitcoin. Bitcoin will be pumped the most. Obviously, MicroStrategy will still pump, as obviously Bitcoin going up pumps the stock. But the big deal, the big message here is that don't be bullish on Bitcoin because you've seen MicroStrategy red security token go up, right? Be bullish on Orange coin, on the orange commodity that is Bitcoin. Be bullish on that because all these other fiat issuers are creating paper to buy Bitcoin. This is part of the irony in Bitcoin that I think a lot of people in Bitcoin don't want to admit, right? We don't like the central banks. We don't like their ability to print money out of thin air. But I think the reality we have to remind ourselves of is that Bitcoin adoption by these fiat instruments, by these fiat issuers, actually is going to extend the life of these fiat currencies, extend the life of these fiat institutions, extend the life of the fiat parasites. And the reason why is because fiat paper backed atop actual truth of the apex asset, the apex collateral of the human race, that fiat is worth way more than the fiat based out of thin air and promises, right? Let's take a look at Michael Saylor. Bitcoiners love Michael Saylor because he's buying all these Bitcoins, but you have to keep in mind, There is nobody on earth right now communicating more strongly, more consistently to the US government how for them to create more paper than Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor is creating more and more paper in the fiat system as a result of him adopting Bitcoin. And likewise, the US government desperately needs to increase the number of bonds being sold to the market, right? The US government desperately wants more and more fiat currency, more and more political currency units, paper units, to be distributed onto the market, right? To be distributed onto the rest of the world. We desperately want that as a country, as our own central banks, but we need Bitcoin to be able to do that. We need to have Bitcoin on our balance sheet in order to do that. And I actually hope they do that, because I think that is going to lower the probability of war. But the point is that there's nobody on the planet that is issuing more paper right now, single-handedly, than Michael Saylor, right? And so yeah, we can love him because we're Bitcoin maxis, but at the same time, you have to understand, this is the Trojan horse process. And so right now, his paper is outperforming Bitcoin, but it's still paper. It's still just a security. It's still just, corporate equity, right? And so other companies, other countries will eventually do the same. You can still front run 9 of the 10 largest companies in America, and you can still front run 7 of the 10 largest economies in the world. 9 of the 10 largest companies in America and 7 of the 10 largest countries in the world have not begun buying Bitcoin. And all the ones that have already bought Bitcoin haven't really bought that much as a percentage term on their balance sheet. And so when they all realize this, when Donald Trump realizes, oh my goodness, I'm Donald Trump, I'm the president, I want to be the America Strong president or whatever, right? I want America to have the best dollar, the strongest dollar, the hugest, the best, everything, right? If that's what I want, I need Bitcoin to be able to do that. And the Bitcoiners may scoff at that, we may ridicule that, because we don't want them to issue more paper, but it doesn't matter what we want or don't want. What matters is what is actually going to happen. And that is exactly what's going to happen. All this premium to all these fiat paper instruments is going to grow as a result of them adopting Bitcoin, and all that premium will come back to chasing Bitcoin. So, yes, feel the FOMO with MicroStrategy. Feel the FOMO with Bitcoin. But my strong encouragement is, if you are going to get off zero and increase your allocation, I highly encourage you focus on Bitcoin over MicroStrategy paper. MicroStrategy is a trade. It is a great trade. It is a trade I like. It is a trade that I think many people will do very well at times, right? Not all the time. But the point is, it is still a trade against Bitcoin. We are denominating MicroStrategy shares in terms of Bitcoin. We are not denominating Bitcoin in terms of MicroStrategy shares. As much as a good trade as it is still a trade against a trade in terms of Bitcoin. So that's my encouragement, to focus on the long term there. Hey, is breakfast ready?
It's ready, bud.
It's ready? All right, now I gotta go because we have breakfast. Thank you for having it ready for us. And yeah, enjoy life. All right. See you in the next video.